Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Automation Testing Online. Today's video we are going to discuss about variables. So far, in all the examples we have seen variables. Today's video we will discuss in depth about variables and its types. So what is a variable? Variable is the name given to a memory location. It is the basic unit of storage in a program. For example, I am giving integer age is equal to 18. So here, integer is the data type that is stored in this variable. Age is the name given to this variable is equal to 18. 18 is the value I have initialized to this variable. So 18 is the initial value stored in this variable. This whole part is the memory location. And these variables are the name given to this memory location. We can change this value during the execution of the program. All the operations that are performed on this variable will affect the memory location. Coming to the types of variables, we have local variable, instance variable, and we have static variable. We will discuss these types one by one. Let's begin with a local variable. Local variable is a variable which is defined within a block or method. So here's an example. First, I'm giving a function public static void say add. So I'm giving a data type integer and I'm giving the name to the variable as I is equal to, I'm initializing the value as 10 and integer j is equal to 20. And again integer k is equal to I plus j. I'm performing an addition operation here. So I wanted to print k. Now if we call this add function to the main method, we will get the output as 30. This is what usually happens. So as the definition says, a variable which is defined within a block or method is called as a local variable. So because we cannot call this variable outside the block, so I am giving another method static void subtraction. So here, let's say I'm trying to give integer I is equal to 13. It shows an error because this local variable can be initialized only within the block. So outside the block, we cannot initialize any value to this variable. And also, initialization of the variable is mandatory before we are using it in a defined scope. Next, we are going to see instance variables. So I have already created a class instance variable test1. What is instance variable? Instance variables are called as non-static variables. These variables can be accessed outside the class, method, or a block. Here's an example, public integer I. This is how an instance variable has to be given. We can see that I have not initialized any value to this variable because initialization of a variable is not mandatory in instance variable. If the value is not initialized, it takes a default value. The default value depends on the data type of the variable. We can see here I have given here public. Unlike local variable, we can use access specifiers in instance variables. If I remove this, this becomes a default. If we do not specify any access specifiers, then it will be used as a default instance variable. As of now, I'm giving as public. Next line, I'm giving public integer j. So now I'm giving a method public I'm using object creation here. I'm giving the name as A is equal to new instance variable test1. Now I can initialize a value to this variable. A dot I is equal to 10. A dot j is equal to 20. And the integer k is equal to plus j. A dot I, A dot j. Have to print k. Now I'm calling this add function here. So we know that we will get the output as 30. The definition says that these variables can be accessed outside a block or method. So I'm trying to access this variable outside this block. For that we have to do an object creation. So I'm giving the object creation name as B. Now B dot I is equal to 30 and B dot J is equal to 40. Yes, so we are able to access the instance variable outside a method or a block. And it also says that it can be accessed outside the class. So let's give it a try. I have already created a class instance variable test2. So I'm giving the extends keyword here. Extends instance variable test1. Let's see whether we can access the variable outside the class. So here I'm giving, we have to do an object creation here. A equal to new. So A dot I is equal to 50. A dot j is equal to 60. Yes, we are able to access outside the class. Next, we'll discuss about static variable. So I have already created a class. Static variables are also called as class variables. Static variables are declared similarly to instance variables. The only difference is that in instance variable, object creation has to be done, but in static variable, there is no need for object creation. Here's an example. Public static integer I, public static integer j. Here we can see that I have given the keyword static. This is also a main difference between instance variable and static variable. Let's take the same example. So we'll remove this object creation. Since we have declared this variables globally, we can access them inside the class. Also, they can be accessed outside the method or block and outside a class. Now I'm giving another method, public static sub void sub. Now I'm initializing I is equal to 40 So in static variables also, the initialization is not mandatory. J is equal to 50. If you do not initialize anything, a default value will be assigned depending upon the data type of the variable. So yes, we can access this static variable outside a block or method. Similarly, it can be accessed outside a class and outside a package also. So friends, hope you have got an idea about variables and the types of variables and the difference between these three variables. In my next video, we will meet up with a new topic. Thank you.